Situated 244 kilometers west of the provincial capital Solwezi, Mufumbwe is one of the 11 districts in northwestern province. Apart from the production of maize, Mufumbwe people have been known for producing good yields of groundnuts for quite some time. The production of crops like groundnuts have enabled some local people to put up some processing facilities like the Beekeeping cooking oil and yellow peanut butter. However, there are a lot of investment opportunities in Mufumbwe District which need to be exploited. These include agriculture, livestock, aquaculture, tourism, honey production, and mining. Mufumbwe has potential for agriculture investment in various crops due to a number of factors. The first factor is that Mufumbwe is positioned in Region 3 of the rain belt, which enables the area to receive rainfall amounting between 1,100 and 1,500 millimeters per annum.
Mufumbwe, being in the third agroecological zone, it means it receives rains area and the withdrawal is also late. Mufumbwe receives rainfall as early as October and the withdrawal is late April or early May. So this simply means that different people, different farmers can venture into agriculture production simply because of the rainfall pattern that we have. It is so vast that it supports any kind of crop production. What I mean by this is that we can do the late maturing varieties, we can also do the medium maturing varieties as well as the early maturing varieties, and we can also do the very early maturing varieties in case a farmer fails to make it on time. So meaning they can still catch up because of the vast rainfall pattern that we have.
Another factor which makes Mufumbwe the ideal destination for investment in agriculture is the quality of soils in the district.
Mufumbwe also has good soils, and this ranges from the loamy soils, the sandy loamy, as well as the clay soils. Meaning these soils are able to harbor or support the production of horticultural crops, just like where we are. It can also support the production of maize. It can also support the production of cash crops like soybeans. It can also support the production of wheat. It can also support the production of rice. Meaning, if we are to venture into agriculture in Mufumbwe, we will never go wrong. Why am I saying so? We've got vast lands which have got vast virgin soils which are untempered. Meaning, if we are to go into production, we'll still find very profitable soils in Mufumbwe.
In addition to rainfall pattern and quality of soils, the presence of some perennial streams and the water bodies like the Kabompo, Solwezi, and Mufumbwe rivers not only make it possible for farmers to do irrigation, but also can promote the practice of crop rotation.
We've also got good perennial streams that will support any kind of production in Mufumbwe. There are people that would want to be producing their agriculture crops or their produces all year round, meaning they'll be favored with the perennial streams that we have in Mufumbwe. And again, apart from that, the water table is just near to the surface, meaning people don't need to strain by digging very deep canals or fallows for them to irrigate their crops. No. Because of the same perennial streams, we are able to tap just water from very shallow, and we are able to irrigate all year round because the streams that we have don't dry off.
With availability of our water bodies, the big rivers in the district, we can successfully engage in irrigation farming all year round. And therefore, we encourage investors to seriously invest in production of crops in Mufumbwe, using rain-fed, but also putting up irrigation system because of the availability of water resources in the district.
In a bid to promote the growing of cash crops on large scale in the district, local authorities and traditional leaders have set aside land for the development of farm blocks which will be allocated to would-be investors.
We have set up farm blocks around the district in ideal places where the soil is very fertile and climatic conditions are also ideal to ensure that crops like maize, soybeans, and groundnuts are grown in a very, very large farms. We also have a lot of cooperatives and farmers that can support outgrower schemes so as to boost the quantities of the cash crops that are being grown.
Even though there's a presence of livestock like pigs, sheep, and cows in a number of places in Mufumbwe, the local people have traditionally been keeping goats. It is, however, worth it to say that the district is conducive for different kinds of livestock based on the following supporting factors.
Mufumbwe has vast lands which can support livestock production. Mufumbwe has plenty of waters. We have a lot of rivers, a lot of streams, lagoons, and fountains. All these are potential sources of clean drinking water. We also have plain lands that can support a lot of grazing. Furthermore, Mufumbwe receives enough rainfall. We're in Regional 3 of the country. We receive about between 1,100 to 1,500 millimeters of rainfall. So all this rainfall, enough rainfall provides enough vegetation for grazing animals.
With the presence of these factors which support the livestock sector, Mufumbwe offers a number of investment opportunities, the first one being the establishment of a goat breeding center.
People use local breeds, and these local breeds are of inferior qualities in that their growth rate is low and their weights are low. So the breeding center would enable access to improved breeds, and this access to improved breeds will mean increased goats production, which will also eventually translate into improved nutrition for the people. The goats breeding center also will facilitate for continuous supply of goat meat on the market, and also it will encourage competitive and efficient marketing in terms of prices.
Cattle ranching is another investment opportunity in the livestock sector in Mufumbwe District.
Mufumbwe has a huge land mass that will support cattle ranching. And also let me stress out that the disease situation in Mufumbwe is relatively stable. Right now we do not have major diseases such as CBPP, which has been controlled. We don't have diseases like corridor diseases. All these diseases of national economic importance, we don't record them in Mufumbwe. So that's to say the environment already in terms of the disease situation is favoring cattle ranching. Besides all the other factors I talked about in terms of rainfall, in terms of enough pastures, all those are factors that will favor cattle ranching.
From the time I started this project as a cattle breeding farm, I haven't experienced any disease. Yes. So which means the weather for cattle breeding in Mufumbwe is very good because the area is disease-free.
The increasing presence of livestock has further brought a great investment opportunity in feed formulation.
Mufumbwe currently is doing very well in terms of agriculture. Mufumbwe is producing a lot of groundnuts, producing a lot of soybean, sunflower, and maize. All these are local feed resources that could be used to get into feed formulation. Let me also mention to you that in most of this livestock production, more than 70% of the cost goes towards feed. So if somebody would venture into feed formulation, it means that the local farmers here can easily get feed locally and slightly cheaper.
Poultry farmers, on the other hand, might be interested to learn that there's no local supply of eggs in Mufumbwe District. This means putting up such an investment would make poultry farmers reap a lot of profits, as they'll not only be supplying to Mufumbwe residents, but also nearby districts like Manyinga and Kabompo.
From our statistics, about 800 trays of eggs are consumed every month. All these trays, you can imagine, come from Solwezi and Kalumbila. So, if somebody would invest in layer production, it means there's already a ready market. Layer production, one, will enable a supply of cheap quality eggs, fresh eggs, and of course a continuous, not only that these will be cheap and fresh, but there will be a continuous supply, because there are times that you go in the market and there are no eggs.
Experts in the forestry sector believe that Mufumbwe District has great potential of supplying honey all year round, provided proper systems are put in place due to the availability of factors which support honey production.
Potential, a lot of potential actually for beekeeping industry here in Mufumbwe District. Why? Because we have vast natural resources. We have the forest, enough forest that it can, the cover that we can use in order to improve the beekeeping.
We have got Mitobo, Mutondo, and Chombo, and many more.
We have 2 seasons of beekeeping production, which means the whole year you can supply honey. Imagine in May, June, we harvest honey. And then also, again, come November, December also, there's a honey flow period as well.
We have a good rainfall pattern here in Mufumbwe, in northwestern and in Zambia, which is supported by the big water bodies, that which we have, the Kabompo River, Dongwe River, Solwezi, Mufumbwe, and many other swamps that which are around this area.
All these, they are within the areas where, the range where bees cannot spend a lot of time to look for water.
Daniel Ngimo, a beekeeper in Mufumbwe District, says he produces an average of 120 liters buckets of honey per harvest season. He, however, complains that most of the honey is either sold at a very low pricing or it goes to waste due to lack of customers.
Bankura buki wafika 100 buckets containers. Uno buki keti kuzipo basuru kotu wafuena kubiba kupotesha buki wa kubamba betu papo mari afikira munangana potesha buki namwe namunobe mu mwingiro yambe na kuingira mu buki ne. Tumbe no kuromba ko umve kwa mwekapo basuru ma investors bakonsha kuiya kupota buki kuno mwane twapopwera buki bwavura bube na kona ikatutube no kupotesha tu pa black market.
Government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, under the Youth and Skills Training Center in Mufumbwe District, with support from Teveta and Peace Corps, has trained some people from various places in Mufumbwe District in beekeeping. And this means investors will indeed increase the chances of success as they engage these local people in their projects.
I can assure you, if you're an investor, that the people in Mufumbwe District are very ready for any beekeeping investments, because the Resource Center has trained more than 300 students in beekeeping. So you will find some very capable people who will be able to get your project off the ground, as well as plentiful forests and bees to produce some nice organic honey.
Fish is one of the relish which is mostly consumed by local people in Mufumbwe District. And 100 local people have so far ventured into fish farming following the availability of market in the district. With the growing interest by the local people to venture into fish farming, there are a number of investment opportunities in aquaculture in Mufumbwe, with the first being the establishment of a fingering center in the district.
What is happening right now is that annually about 3 tons of fish are being harvested from these close to 100 ponds. This is not really very good management because ideally a cycle for fish is supposed to be 6 months, but they're taking about a year. Predominantly it's because of the low quality of fingerlings that they are using. Right now, the shortest source of fingerlings is Solwezi and faraway places. And so what people are doing, they are recycling the fingerlings. These fingerlings, there's inbreeding and a lot of recycling. As a result, productivity in terms of aquaculture is very low.
For me to travel from this point to Solwezi to access the fingerlings has been a challenge. And at times, due to the distance, the fingerlings have not been reaching in this area. Finally, others could develop some like diseases, symptoms on eyes, as if they are not good fingerlings due to the distance that has been there.
The increased fish farming activities in the district has created the demand for a feed formulation center in Mufumbwe.
Another venture would be fish feed formulation. With all these aquaculture activities going on, it means that there will be need for feed. Right now, our farmers are just using locally formulated or improperly formulated feed. As a result, the growth rate is very poor. Currently, Mufumbwe is doing very well in terms of agriculture, which offers a lot of resources for fish feed, such as maize, soybean, and groundnut.
Here we don't have a company that can process the good feed, which I could feed my fish, and then gives me good brims so that I'll be able to have a good market and also supply to the customers good fish. So mostly it has not been a good fish that has been pleasing my customers due to the fact that the brims could not reach the expected size.
Another investment opportunity in the aquaculture in Mufumbwe District is caged fishing within the local water bodies such as the Kabompo, Solwezi, and Mufumbwe rivers.
We have rivers like the Kabompo River, rivers like the Lalafuta rivers. These rivers never dry up throughout the year. They've got also sections that are wide enough to put up cage fish farming. So I'm employing a lot of people to come and invest in this venture.
In a bid to boost the tourism sector in the area, Mufumbwe District offers a rare opportunity of putting up lodges and guest houses in a few places as identified by local authorities along the banks of the Kabompo River.
There is potential investment on the other part of Kabompo River, which is on the eastern side of it. There is enough space for the investors to put up their lodges so that there is accommodation along the riverbanks of Kabompo River.
Putting up an accommodation facility along the banks of the Kabompo River entails that tourists who come to the West Lunga for activities like boat cruising, sport fishing, and game viewing within the West Lunga National Park will indeed sustain the existence of these lodges and guest houses.
As a department, we offer different activities to be done on Kabompo River. Activities like boat cruising, angling, sport fishing, bird watch, and then as you boat cruise on Kabompo River, you'll be able to view animals like crocodiles and hippos, birds just along the riverbanks of Kabompo River. On the other side of Kabompo River is West Lunga National Park, where we've got different species of animals like elephants, hippos, statungas, bush pigs, baboons, guinea fowls, and then you never go wrong when you visit West Lunga National Park because the game viewing there, you're going to enjoy it. And then don't worry that who's going to escort. There are always officers there to direct you where to go and view the animals, whereby you can have nice pictures of these animals and then you enjoy your holidays.
Another investment opportunity available under the tourism sector, which needs to be exploited in Mufumbwe District, is game ranching, which will be supported by the available thick forests and the various water bodies.
Investment in game ranching is very, very ideal in Mufumbwe. Mufumbwe has a closed forest, which is ideal for game ranching. The traditional leaders, as well as the local authority, is ready to assist investors seeking to invest, to make their investment in game ranching so as to support this sector. There are a few investors that have engaged in game ranching successfully in Mufumbwe, but therein lies a huge potential for further investment in game ranching. Mufumbwe has got a lot of rivers, namely the Dongwe, Kabompo River, Mufumbwe itself, and Solwezi, which is supporting wildlife in the district.
Apart from the famous Kalengwa mine, where mining activities are taking place, there are a number of areas within Mufumbwe District, among them Matushi and Munyambala, where mineral deposits have been discovered. And thus these opportunities await serious investment so that these minerals can be exploited.
Mufumbwe is very, very rich in mineral resources. We do have Kalengwa mine, where minerals such as copper, cobalt, silver and gold are being mined. Several other places have the potential of mining in Mufumbwe, and these are ready for investment into the sector because they have been found with rich mineral contents. The copper content in some of these areas in Mufumbwe actually even go up to 80% in some cases. And so Mufumbwe is a very, very big destination for serious mining investment, not only in copper, but also in precious minerals such as amethyst and also gold and silver.
Investors should note that the centrality of Mufumbwe District in Northwestern Province works to their advantage, as they would easily transport their products to the surrounding districts where there will be demand for such products.
Namba nyinga sikendi, nyinga toroshi.